Denise, in a televised interview with you several weeks ago, you made certain statements regarding algebra in high school. Could you please explain your statements and what you meant by it? And I'll remind you that you have 2 minutes to respond.
Yes, I'd be glad to do that. I am for algebra not being required at high school graduation. My reasons for that is many students can't pass algebra, so therefore they're denied the opportunity to graduate until they pass that algebra course. I remember myself when I was in high school, I had a lot of problems with algebra. But I ended up getting a mentor, someone to help me with that class, and passed it. But for many students, they don't have that opportunity. Many of them take the class over and over again and continue failing continuously, and that not only affects their grades, but also their self-esteem. There was one instance that I talked about in our other interview, that midway through the 12th grade, a student gathered her textbooks, dropped them into the campus book room, and without telling a soul, just vanished from the high school. She never returned because she was so discouraged about not being able to pass her algebra classes. In the fall of 2004, in the Los Angeles Board of Education made the requirement for graduation, for taking algebra graduation, went into effect in 2003, and 48,000 ninth graders took beginning algebra, and 44% flunked. Nearly twice the failure rate as in English, and 17% finished with D's. In all of the district, that semester handed out D's and F's to 29,000 beginning algebra students, enough to fill 8 high schools the size of Birmingham. The schools districts could have seen this coming if they had looked at the large numbers of high school students failing basic math, but they did not. And of course, they did this to prepare students for college classes and to get higher level jobs when they graduate, but it just isn't working. And I do not think that it should be required for high school graduation.
Thank you. Now, Wilma, what do you have to say on this topic?
What do I have to say? What would you do without algebra? You would miss out on everything. Even people who dig ditches or whatever business they're in, no matter what they do, they need algebra. They can't continue what they're doing or have a good reason for doing things. And I don't know how it would be possible not to have algebra. I mean, it would almost be like not having English. Most women like English, but yet they get into other fields where they need to be able to answer questions and have arithmetic, I'll call it. And even when you get married, your husband has to help you do your work, and I don't like to do that. My husband thinks that he's smarter than I am because I have to ask him that. So why would I not have algebra? Algebra is the key to everything that's done. It's your college, when you go to college, you have to go to college and you have to have algebra. When you get out of there, you have to find a job. Then, like I said, after that, you get married, and you don't want to go to your husband because you want him to think that you're very smart. And I just think that we should have that. We shouldn't be blinded. We should have everything we need to do what we need to do a job with.
Now, Denise, do you agree that we need algebra for everything that we do, and that our husbands or wives are smarter than us if we haven't had algebra?
Well, by no means am I saying that we don't need algebra. I'm simply stating that we don't need it as a requirement for high school graduation. Yes, we need math classes, we need algebra classes, higher level math classes for our students to prepare them to to go to college and higher level jobs. I'm just saying it should not be a requirement to graduate from high school. My husband has a degree in accounting, and I myself had to take a class to help me with my algebra for high school and also in college. But then I went on to make A's in statistics, so go figure that one. No, I do think that it is necessary, that it is required, we do need it. And I don't feel like I'm not as smart as my husband because I didn't make an A in algebra because I have had accounting and other courses that require math. I just think that it should not be a requirement to graduate because there are other subjects that are just as important as math and algebra, simple algebra, to graduate from high school and go on to college and a higher level job.
Now, Wilma, would you like to respond to that? Basically, what, if I understand Denise correctly, she's saying it just shouldn't be a requirement to graduate high school, especially if you're going on to non-mathematical related majors in college. What would you say to that?
Oh, if you didn't have it before you got out of high school, you can forget it. I've been there and done that. I was told that I had to have algebra for a position that I had at the VA. Well, I didn't know how to add 2 and 2. I mean, I was an English major in my mind. So I go off to wherever, whatever teacher was going to help me. And the first thing he said was, if you can't pass this course, get out of here now. Well, there I didn't have anything over here to help me. I couldn't get anybody to help me. And he had already said